Well, hey everybody, it's Sandy and welcome back to my channel dedicated to helping you advocate for your own health, one topic at a time. Yeah, so guys, today I have a topic that's kind of along the lines of self-discovery in this pandemic. And the question is, how are your friendships doing in this pandemic? I'm open to suggestions. Damn it. I was a little blue. I've been thinking about this topic for a couple of days now since I read a statistic that 1 in 7 people has ended a friendship over vaccination status. Yeah, I really shouldn't say it's not the pandemic per se, it's the vaccine issue, right? Are you pro-vax or anti-vax? And it's like everything is political in this country. I did a video a little while back about how I don't like how political everything is. I don't want politics on my channel, so I try to steer away from that and I try to steer comments away from it. The pro-vax or anti-vax situation has become really difficult. So I read the statistic, and the reason it vibrated some chords for me is that I have a friendship that I don't know if I would say it's ended, but it's altered significantly since this pandemic and actually since the vaccines. It's really about the vaccine. So I started reading everything I could about that. And what I found is very often I was like reading the same article that was published in all different publications. It was just like way too similar. But even of things that were not exactly the same, there were a lot of similar characteristics of these articles, and they actually surprisingly did not reflect what's going on for me, at least as I see it. But they nonetheless did highlight that the issue of whether or not to vaccinate has put a tremendous strain on people's relationships. It's not only about friendships. If you have family, loved ones, friends, anybody, getting together with people for holidays, how are you going to handle that? What do we, if you have kids that aren't eligible to be vaccinated and other people, you get together with don't have that situation. I was thinking for a while, I can't be the only person who's been impacted by this. And sure enough, I'm not. One thing that I read that was really disconcerting to me is that, and this was in every single article I came up with on this issue of friendships ending over vaccine status, is they all went like this. The person who is vaccinated and wants their friends to be vaccinated chose to end a friendship. Now, I think that's a little bit harsh, and I have to be honest, I kind of think there must be more renditions of this story, right? They can't all go like that. I know in my case, I haven't ended a friendship with anybody. I don't do that. I have no interest in doing that. There'd be nothing in it for me to end a friendship because somebody else won't be vaccinated. So I do have a very, very close friend, somebody who's been my friend for like the better part of like 28 years now and is like a sister to me. And as couples, we've been friends. But the hinge there, I think, is between her and me. Friendships that go on for that period of time often do have periods where you're seeing each other more, or talking more, and then periods where you're not. Somebody gets busy doing this or somebody's doing that or whatever. There are times that you're closer and times that you're not so much. But in the end of the day, friendships are based on a lot of shared experiences. And when you look back after like 28 years, you have a lot of shared experience there. Then the question comes up, how much time can go by where there's no shared experience, that the friendship isn't altered or harmed ultimately and permanently. I don't know the answer to that. I'm worried about it, but I'll just tell you how it went in my case. Nobody ended anything because I just don't see the reason to do that. I don't see why you would like call somebody up and say you're ending a friendship or let them know that you want to end a friendship. But in my case, as is, I think, the common denominator in a lot of these situations, it's the person who's vaccinated and wants to be well protected with vaccine who then doesn't want to get together with people who are not vaccinated. And, that's not personal. That's not tantamount to saying I want to end a friendship. Rather it's about a safety measure that you've adopted in your life, and are you willing to breach it? In my case, I have autoimmune stuff. I don't see the reason. I really don't see a good reason to subject myself to unnecessary potential harm. It's not something that I think I should respectfully do to myself. And I certainly wouldn't make that choice for my loved ones. Like I wouldn't subject my husband to that because I wanted something. I see that in the case of the friendship that I'm talking about, there is a tremendous strain on it because I am the one who will not get together in person. But at the same time, I have asked many a time, to get together over Zoom. I have friends who are vaccinated who, when the infection rate is really high and we don't want to get together. None of us want to get together when the infection rate is really high. And we have this thing where we'll do Zoom dinners. And, we make dinner at our house and they make dinner at their house. And we Zoom, you put the laptop, across from you at the table. And it's just like that couple is sitting across from you. And we talk for, a couple hours. We catch up. It's just like having dinner, except for you're each having your own meals. And you're each having to clean up because you're not at one person's house or the other. And, I've asked my friend to do that, and the answer has always been no. It stings a little bit. Like I know deep down inside that when I think about that it's really a reflection of a fact that this isn't so much about we're not seeing each other. The reasons that I get are kind of bland, like, oh, I'm zoomed out, or I kind of want to unplug from technology when I'm not working, but that just doesn't really jive with you want to see me so badly. So I'm not trying to blame anybody, and I'm not saying that I question this person's, what they're telling me, that's the truth. They are kind of sick of technology at the end of the day. And when you come sit home after a long day of work, you don't really want to be sitting with the computer across the table. I get it. I don't either. Even with, like I said, my fully vaccinated friends who, when we decide that the conditions are such that we shouldn't be getting together, that's exactly what we do. But of course, it'd be better to be able to see each other and hug each other. And, but sometimes we can't, we Zoom sometimes with my in-laws who are elderly, and we've had holidays that way. It's as ideal, no, but it's the better option. It's better than not. I just can't help but feel that saying no to that and declining is significant. Like all behavior has meaning, and maybe it's more about trying to get me to change or to pressure me a little bit, or to blame me, or maybe it's a little more like, well, I want to see you, but I'd rather have the grievance than have it resolved. I never really gave that a lot of thought. It was sort of a fleeting thought in my head. I guess I never really focused on it. Like the seed had been planted, and I never really watered it or let it sprout until recently, because my friend actually met a common acquaintance. I'm going to call it a common acquaintance. The person is actually my good friend, but their acquaintance. I'm the adjoining friend in that case. And that person ran into my other friend. I heard from that other friend that there was this expression of hurt, really, that they were fairly hurt and bereaved, that, they've been friends with me for almost 30 years and that they can't get together with me now because they're not vaccinated. And I didn't really want to do a whole lot of talking, like in between people. So, the only thing I did say out loud is that I'm not really sure. That kind of sounds like a victim stance. I'm not really sure who the victim is. If you choose to do whatever you do, then you're also choosing the consequences. You own your own choices, but you also own the consequences. It's totally your choice to not be vaccinated. I wish that weren't what you'd chosen. The reality is that there are going to be some people, I'm certainly not an outlier here, there are going to be plenty of people who won't get together with you for dinner indoors. And that's just the way it is. But, when I thought about it further, I realized that it's really not only that. It really kind of brought me back around full circle to what I said I had kind of had a fleeting thought about. And that's when I really did start to water that thought and let it grow. And I thought, all of this sort of adds up to, you want the grievance maybe more than you really want to find a resolution, the contact, because one option was, let's talk by Zoom. No. And then, I hear third party that you're telling people that I've sort of hurt you. I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. I think I am going to craft an email or a letter or something, not like just a text, something that has a little more gravity to it. I'm going to be very non-confrontational, and I'm just going to be very truthful. And I'm going to reiterate my offer to, get together virtually, see each other, how nice it would be to just see each other's faces, and reiterate how not personal this is, how this is just a function of the fact that I'm not seeing people who are not vaccinated. And this is just the way it has to be for now. Things might change at some point. We're moving from pandemic to endemic. And I hope that whenever, if ever, things do change, I think they probably will. I would sure like to get to that point in a way that a friendship hasn't been irreparably harmed. I've actually sort of surprised myself because I'm really pretty introverted. I'm outspoken, but I don't really share a lot of what's going on with me personally, and I don't really intend to. But when I read that statistic that 1 in 7 people, I just thought, wow, there's a lot we're not talking about, right? Because this would be like a dinner conversation. Under normal circumstances, 1 in 7 people, if something very new was happening, there'd be a lot of conversation about it. Maybe I've gone into more detail than I need to in order to bring this discussion up, but my goal here is to really just start the discussion like, has this happened with you? In what way? Which person were you in this scenario? And how'd you handle it? Whose feelings were hurt? And have you addressed it? Are you thinking about ways to address it? I think the only way forward really is to have some dialogue about it. I'm pretty sure this is a pervasive problem. So, yeah, to the extent that it's been a little bit long winded and a little bit detailed about what my particular circumstances are here, that's not really the point of it. That was just sort of the vehicle to get started. I will let you know if there's any progress made on my end now that I've brought it all up and told people about it. But more importantly, I'd like to know what you guys are doing and whether you've had this happen. And maybe there are people out there who really know what to do and have some techniques for diffusing some of this. I don't know. But anyway, this is, I guess, just a beginning. I'm going to wrap it up with the beginning. Let's talk about it. Until next time, be well. Bye-bye.